Blog Talk Radio.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's mind control going on. The signal's broadcast 24 hours a day through all this media. Just become aware of it, and they'll say there's nothing going on. And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
An estimated 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder or sleep deprivation.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners.
Latest census numbers prove the United States has the biggest gap between rich and poor compared to all westernized countries today.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
And for the first time in all of human history, mankind is politically awakened. That's a total new reality.
I've got one that can see.
We can't be the only ones who can see.
Unfortunately, you've grown up hearing voices that incessantly warn of government as nothing more than some separate, sinister entity that's at the root of all our problems.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh.
Hello! We are live on Blog Talk Radio. I know one of my guests there, he hasn't called in yet. I don't know what's going on. I see only one person in the chat box, so you know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to end up playing my intro one more time since he missed half of it. And hopefully I see a couple other guests that I had asked to come on are probably running a few minutes late. They didn't know that we were going to be on sharply at 8:30 because, you know, the last show that I did was with the Enterprise Media, and they were always constantly 10 to 15 minutes late. And, you know, callers, we lose a lot of callers, actually. I'm going to check the chat room now because, you know, I don't want to disconnect anybody by accident, and I know I asked two people specifically to come on because I wanted them on, you know, to help out with the knowledge and information they have because they have experience in dealing with this type of thing. And I see two that I asked so far, and one of them I want to show the intro actually works, so I need to get back to the studio site, and hopefully the two special people that I asked to call in tonight will call in within a matter of 5 minutes. This intro is only about 2 minutes long. I'm going to change it next week, but I was sampling and I just wanted to try this out, and you know I think it's pretty good. I like it, so we'll go ahead, go ahead and try it again. Hopefully I can do it.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's mind control going on. The signal's broadcast 24 hours a day through all this media. Just become aware of it, and they'll say there's nothing going on. And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
An estimated 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder or sleep deprivation.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners.
Latest census numbers prove the United States has the biggest gap between rich and poor compared to all westernized countries today.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
That for the first time in all of human history, mankind is politically awakened. That's a total new reality.
I've got one that can see.
We can't be the only ones who can see.
Unfortunately, you've grown up hearing voices that incessantly warn of government as nothing more than some separate, sinister entity that's at the root of all our problems.
It's a new morning in America. Fresh.
Hello, welcome tonight, Blog Talk. I see one of my guests that I asked to come on are on here tonight. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a safe and happy 4th of July. I have started up my own show now. I think this is going to be my regular night. I was sent an email, and I was on the Sound Doctrine show on Thursday evenings at 9 p.m. with a Dr. Ventura there, and Nathan was the producer in South Carolina. And they asked me several times to come on over the last year and a half. And when I would come on, I would ask family and friends to join in. And, they would put me on the spot, and then, of course, we would have debates, and, we would argue the topics of today and what we face today as Christians or whatever you are, a Buddhist, Muslim, whatever, the problems we face in this country today. And I received a lot of controversy, a lot of backlash from the host of the show at that time because, he really thought that I was really hijacking his show. And because actually more supporters actually wanted to hear me more than what he was teaching on Thursday nights. And the producer. So it was creating a little bit of a conflict. And Dr. Venturi is a personal friend of mine. And, I know last night I did an introductory show for about 15 minutes. And I kind of, trashed him a little bit. And I shouldn't have done that. And I apologize if he's listening tonight. I took it a little hard on him. He's been my friend for quite some time. And I probably shouldn't have put everything out in the open. But, in a way, hey, you want to be on this internet radio thing and this podcast thing. That's what everyone's listening to nowadays. And, you want to state your opinions and your beliefs, and you want to try to discredit somebody. And I have my way about myself and what I've studied and what I know. And they asked me on, and then they asked me to eventually host the show. And if you're going to get angry at what I believe or how I went about things, even though many people supported me and enjoyed the show, they told me, not just because some of them were my family, but even, strangers I never met, they said, that was a pretty good show you did, and it woke some people up. Some people disagree with me, but hey, that's what it's all about. I give people an opportunity to call in and speak your mind and your opinion. And I talk to a lot of people daily, and they got big mouths, and they have a lot to say. But when they're given a platform to speak their mind and really offer something, a lot of people are very smart, and they can really help people out by voicing their opinion and giving their knowledge to other people who are, tapping into this resource. We have the internet nowadays. 20 years ago, we did not have this internet. This was really impossible to do. You had total, how did we communicate 3, 4, 5 people? We had total phone, the rotary dial. We didn't have this. Now I can connect with 1,000 people if I want to. I can get 50 callers on this line at once if we wanted to. We didn't have this resource of communication back, but we have it today, and we don't take advantage of it. And I think that's why they wanted me to have my own slot. And I did. I received an email, and they said, we like, because a lot of big sponsors, I guess, listened to, tidbits of the show at that time. And, they liked what I was saying and, how I brought a little controversial measure to the show and knowledge. And the people that I asked come on. I mean, one week I had my brother come on, and Jason Gibson from Reedsville, North Carolina, and he spoke of his experience about traveling around the world, encountering different types of people. And, you don't hear that a lot nowadays. You hear the nonsense entertainment that's out there. You don't hear really true educational programming anymore. Everything has an agenda. We had no agenda. We were just trying to communicate with each other and bring something positive to everybody. And that's what it was all about. And I know I asked certain people to come on tonight. I'm going to check the chat room to see if one of them's on. I don't know if he wants to call in or not. I'm new to this switchboard, so you have to bear with me. I don't know what to, I don't know how to really work it too much, so you got to bear with me. But I know one of the individuals I asked to come on, I think you have to press 1 to get on to me to communicate with me directly so other listeners can hear you. So if you have something to say tonight, you're more than welcome to press 1, and I believe I'll be alerted that you want to come on the show with me. Okay? So if you want to come on, then press 1, and you're more than welcome to talk with me direct. Otherwise, I'm going to discuss what really the topic is about tonight. And the topic is about the problems we face today as individuals and our religious convictions as Christians, because there are 60 million Christians in this country today, and we hear what's going on in the media around the world about Christians being attacked and crucified. We have this ISIS out there, which I've done some research on it. It is true. They are killing and beheading innocent people in the Middle East, which they've been doing for quite some time, but it's really come out of control now. And I don't really understand what their agenda really is, what they're really trying to do. And we know that this government is actually supporting them behind the scenes through the videos and the news articles that I've watched. So, and they say there's ISIS in this country now. There could be a couple hundred members that are trying to stage a terrorist attack in America. So I do not know exactly what their agenda is, because it's new to the scene. Remember, we had the Al-Qaeda thing for the last, 5-6 years? And Al-Qaeda was discredited so many times. There was really no such thing as Al-Qaeda. You had the Taliban that was in Afghanistan, and you had terrorists, and they would just automatically call them Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, if you do the research, is actually a name of a computer program that IBM came out with. So do the research. So when you hear your newscasters talk about Al-Qaeda, the 7 different ways they pronounce it, that's not really, there's really no such thing. There's no really cell of Al-Qaeda. There's, terrorists, obviously, that want to hurt us or hurt innocent people around the world, but there's no real such thing as Al-Qaeda. But there is an ISIS organization, and that's what I'm really trying to look into now. And they are very violent. And if they do come over to this country, and if they are here, it's something that we as Christians or we as people, American citizens, should be well aware of. You're not going to get the truth from the news media. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You're only going to get it in alternative media. These websites that have these radio programs online, even like TalkShoe or Blogspot, you're only going to get the truth here. Now, there's a lot of wackos on Blogspot and TalkShoe, too, that give you misinformation. But it's your decision to decipher what is true and what is not, because there are so many shows listed. Like, for instance, when you type in Blogspot, there's so many different types of shows out there. And you can really, like, for instance, you got one I was looking at, you go into the religion category, John the Baptist. This guy thinks he's John the Baptist. And he's got 4 listeners, and he's spreading lies. I mean, so you have nuts out there. You got a lot of wackos. But you do have a lot of truth out there also. So what we're trying to do is speak the truth and spread it on the Internet, because you're not going to get it on the TV. There's no way anyone's going to put me on TV. You know, they're not going to put you on TV either. You have to go through the Hollywood ranks, and you have to be part of some sort of secret society or the elite group, or you have to be chosen, because you're not going to have a TV show on prime time and talk about the way the world works. Trust me. So, but anyway, I have a couple individuals. I'm going to try to connect one that I asked to come on right now. If I hang up on you, Mrs. Rondo from Wallingford, Connecticut, please call back. But I'm going to try to connect you right now, so hopefully you'll be on. I'm going to connect you right now. Are you on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, I did it right. Very good. Like I said, I'm new because they emailed me this switchboard, this studio interface, and I'm new to it. I just started on Friday, so in future weeks, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go out in the community and try to get, or even in other states, I'm going to try to get, people who are prominent in the community to bring them on. Like, for instance, we had that issue a couple months ago about the magistrates that would not perform homosexual marriages, and they actually won in court. I mean, in the lawmakers session, they actually won. They overturned the governor's bill, and now the local magistrates down here have the right not to perform a gay marriage. So, which is good. I mean, if you don't support homosexuality, why should you be forced to condone it? You should not. And that's what I'm talking about. We could have had a couple of those magistrates who resigned. We could have had them on the show. We could have connected them via internet, and they could have told us why they did not want to perform, and gave instead of us speculating. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do in the future. But anyway, you're calling from Wallingford, Connecticut. How's the weather in Wallingford, Connecticut? I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina. Reidsville, North Carolina, excuse me.
Hot.
Hello. Hot.
Yeah.
Well, Mrs. Rondo, I asked you to come on because the topic of the show is, you're older than, I'm not going to give your age, but you're older than I am, and you've been through a lot in your life, and you've had a lot of family. You've seen them come and go in your life. What do you think, for instance, is happening today in society from what you see, and not just watching TV? I know you don't get out much now, but what do you think, or even your personal family, what do you think you see has changed since the days when you were younger and things were better? Because obviously they're worse today. So can you give some of these listeners your perspective, if you can?
You mean, what do I think? What do I think of them now?
Yes. How do you think of, how things are like I said, even your personal family, or even your friends, or what you see happening in the world today? You have a lot of experience you can share with other people. I know maybe you're not an expert communicator, but you have a lot of experience growing up in the 1930s, compared to what we have today growing up in the 1990s and 2000s, and here it is now 2015. We don't know what it was like for you growing up. How was it? How did family treat each other? How did people interact in the community? How was it?
We all got along. We all helped each other.
Yeah, but in what way? Like, for instance, if your car broke down on the side of the road, or you were sick, your family would come to your aid, correct?
Yes, they would come right over and bring you food and take care of you and check on you, have their other friends check on you. This goes way back even whenever I was younger.
Yeah.
When my mother wasn't feeling well, this is what the neighbors would make pies, bring them over, and help my mother with the wash. And then washing was really a job, doing wash, because they had like a ringer-type wash machine. Then you'd have to hang them outside. They would all help my mother, because my mother was a very sick person.
Yeah.
And I remember all of this. So, and when we grew up, we grew up to respect people.
So, but today, what's the difference? What's the difference? How do you see it today happening? What do you think?
I see it terrible. You wouldn't even dare to step out your front door. That's how the people are now. Even like, say, if you're in your car and you broke down, all you have to do is pray.
Yeah.
Unless you have a cell phone, which I don't have a cell phone.
But For instance, what about the religious factor? I mean, did you go to church when you were younger? Did everyone in the community?
Oh, yes. I went to church every Sunday. Every time there was something going on, I was there.
Wow.
But even though a lot of things they would preach to you, I never believed in it because I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And some things I don't believe in other churches, what they preach.
Uh-huh. What about, for instance, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot because there are a couple people that are personal family that are listening. What about your personal family? How are they compared to yesterday to today? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but,
my personal
obviously,
family?
Yeah, I mean, do they take care of you today? I mean, I could probably tell the truth here, but I want to hear it from your own words. Do you feel that your family today is taking care of you the way they should be taking care of you as being an elder in the family?
Yes, my daughter. My daughter, Debbie Lewis. She might be on now.
Yeah, I'm going to try to connect her too because I can't figure out if they're trying to connect or not.
Well, I just talked to her about a half hour ago, and she said she was going to be on.
Yeah, and I see that. And I also got the chat room. I got some people in the chat room, and I just don't know how to connect them because I'm new to this. But I know some people want to get on. I got one person on Skype, and I wish he just used his phone to call because I can't connect him through the computer. And he has a lot to say too tonight on this particular topic. But I'm going to go ahead and try to connect Debbie in case she wants to come on. I'm going to put her on live right now. Hello, are you on? Yes,
I'm
I got you
on.
Were you pressing 1? Did you try to press 1 to get on?
No,
right, well,
it didn't tell me. It just told me to listen to the show, and I said, okay.
All right, because I don't know how to get that going, how that works, and I'm going to figure it out soon because I know there may be some people who have information they want to share and they want to come on, But the thing of it is, what do you think about what Mrs. Rondo has said tonight? I mean, did you hear what she said?
Yes, I did. And I agree with her because being a nurse, I see a lot of elderly people and families just do not do for them like they used to. And it's a shame because those elderly people were there through the whole time for you growing up.
Wow.
And I see a lot of it.
So what do you I don't know what's your opinion on it?
I think it's terrible. I think it's the whole society. I think it's the way that people are brought up now. There is really hardly any religious function in any family. Some yes, some no. But there's no discipline. There's no respect being taught. And, I was taught you took care of your elderly people. You took care of your parents. You took care of your grandparents.
Yeah.
You were taught to respect them.
But what do we do? What do we do to,
you have to incorporate religion. You have to incorporate religion into the family again. You have to incorporate to teach them respect and discipline. Because a lot of families don't do that. I mean, I think children nowadays get to do whatever they want to do.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, back years ago, what did you do as, like, for instance, Mrs. Rondo back years ago? How was it with the parents? You didn't have single family homes as much as you do today, right? I mean,
what do you mean?
I mean, you had a mother and father in the house. You didn't have just one.
No, I had my mother and father, and they taught us respect and discipline. And if we didn't do what they told us, boy, we had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, another thing too, Joe, is that the marriages people don't respect the marriages anymore.
No.
Okay, I got one that. Mrs. Rondo, did you try pressing 1 when you first got on here? Did you try pressing 1 to connect?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Did you try pressing 1?
No, I didn't.
There's a question mark next to your name.
At first, I thought I had a wrong number or something because someone was yelling and everything, and I said, "Wait a minute."
Nobody was yelling. That was the introduction. You and the other guest caller converse about what we just talked about, and I gotta screen one caller real quick because I don't have a producer, and then I'm gonna see if I can get them on. Okay?
Yeah.
So give me like 20 seconds. All right.
Okay. All right, Mom. What do you think?
Oh, he can't hear us?
No, I think they can. He's going to try to connect somebody else.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Right, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know if I'm trying to screen somebody now. They want to come on or not. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yep.
Hello?
You still have
all right.
Betty
well,
and me
maybe
on.
not. I don't know. I
Who's
see a question mark next to their name, so I don't know how that works. So I don't know. I know we got about 10 people logged in right now on the hold line, and then I've got let's see, I've got another one here. Let me try this one here. See if he wants to come on. Are you holding to come on the air?
Yeah, I've been here for 27 minutes now.
All right, well, I don't know how to do the Skype yet. I told you that. So now we got everybody. I got one more here down at the bottom. See, I don't know. They press 1, and I don't hear anything like I did on the other show. I don't know how that works.
I didn't.
So
I called in through the cell phone. I didn't call in through Skype.
But in the beginning, you tried to call in through Skype, right?
Yeah, until I heard you say you didn't know what you was doing, so I called in off the cell phone.
I really didn't. I see you. You said you pressed 1, and what happened?
It put me in the host queue.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. But how come I didn't hear you? That's the thing.
I guess you got to give me access to talk somehow or another. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how that works. I'm going to check that out. But anyway, okay, well, Jason, you heard what I'm talking about here. We don't have to take all the time I'm granted tonight, but I want to give everyone a chance that's called in if they want to say their say, because like I said, I'm new to this. I really don't. I don't know how to really produce it and be a host at the same time, and that's the problem I'm running into. But I'll figure it out. But anyway, what do you think about what the subject is tonight? I told you I was going to, come up with something good, and what do you think, in your opinion?
Why times are different now than they were back 40, 50 years ago?
Yeah, what's affecting us?
Everything.
Well, I mean,
to make it simple and short, everything. From the way the kids are brought up, from the way the kids are taught in school now, to the damn walk around like zombies out into the middle of traffic getting ran over by cars because they're too busy texting, to anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you see it every day. People walking off, falling off the curb into the road because they're too busy on their damn phones.
Yeah. What do we do to fix this problem, in your opinion?
Take your damn phones away. I mean, that's what you do.
But what about some sort of?
There's no reason why a 13-year-old should have a damn
We could do without a phone. We didn't have a phone growing up. We used to go to the neighbors and ask just to find out what time it is, and we dial on the phone. And I said, "Give me time, please," and they would tell me the time.
I had 2 empty Campbell soup cans with a string tied between them.
Yeah. That's right. That's what I had. We had no money for phones.
No kidding.
Well, what about the family life, though, Jason? What do you think about the discipline and the structure in the home life?
I can't vouch for everybody, but I don't know. I think it's fine. I mean, family life is family life, but actually, I think families might be a little bit more closer these days than they are back in the old days. As far as
you really think
goes.
they're more interactive?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I think you see more. There's more divorce today than there was 30 years ago.
Oh yeah, as far as that goes, as far as families breaking up, yeah, there is. But I'm just saying, as far as in the home, there's because parents are so much more smothering of their kids nowadays. We're going to give you a trophy just because you woke up this morning. And so it's more smothering. So I think the family life is actually a little bit.
As far as divorce,
better.
My husband never believed in it. He was a good man, and he always said that the parents should take care of their kids, and this is the way that we had brought them up. He only had 1 child, and I had 2,
By the way, Joe, is my audio okay?
Oh yeah, you sound pretty good. I mean, I sounded better when the Skype, like I said, is a new studio.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really try to figure it out. I mean, hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will. But you know, we had a lot of people that connected to us a couple months ago when we did that show on Thursday night. But you know, and this is a good topic because today, you know, what's going on in our country, it's really it's pathetic. I mean, the way the kids in school today, or how they're taught, you know, these private, even the private schools. I mean, what about the law they just passed out in California with the forced vaccinations? What's your opinion on that, Jason?
Well, I mean, certain vaccinations is a no-brainer. I mean, it's a good idea to have them, but some of them, I mean, you know, you shouldn't be forced to do them. But if you're going to be outside of your house in public, there's certain vaccinations like, you know, well, polio has been eradicated for 100 years now. Let's do away with that one to start with. And but you know, there's just certain things like the measles and stuff that are still floating around. That, you know, if your kid's gonna be out of the house, you need to get it done. I mean, because why should your kid or anybody else's kids be at risk because of one parent? But some other vaccinations and stuff that's forced on you, no, you shouldn't have to do that.
No, the norovirus, pneumonia shots, flu shots, that should be up to the individual.
Yeah, everybody
I agree.
gets the flu. I mean, you know, but as far as making a flu shot mandatory, that's pretty silly.
Yeah.
You know, but the problem is a lot of these vaccinations, you know, now that they make it mandatory. Now look, this is what I'm trying to tell you now. They started it off when they first came out with these many vaccinations. They said it's voluntary. It's voluntary. You know, you don't have to do it. Then all of a sudden, look what's happened now. Now you have to do it. And even in the places that you're allowed to be exempt, they still shun on you. Now look at the gun control laws. It's voluntary to register your automatic weapon. It's voluntary. You don't have to, but you should. Now what happens when they make it mandatory?
When
like
you're getting into vaccinations and stuff like that, that's something that if you don't do, you're making everybody else at risk also, especially for someone like that travels a lot or goes to a third world country or something like that. They can be bringing that shit back to the United States. You know, them flying over here on boats and stuff from Cuba and everywhere else in the world, bringing it over here. If you're not vaccinated, you could be the cause of a major outbreak. And when you're when you're putting somebody's else's health besides your own at risk, and you're too irresponsible to do the right thing, then you're right. Somebody should step in and make you do the right thing.
Well, the thing of it is, Jason, for school, there are only 6 vaccinations that are mandatory, but the schools don't tell you that. They tell you have to have the meningitis, you have to have this
I'm only talking about the major stuff, you know,
right.
polio
It's the major
and
stuff, right?
Stuff.
That's what you need to have. You need to have the major ones like measles and mumps and tetanus and diphtheria. That's for your own protection, because if you were to step on a rusty nail, you could get very ill if you're not, immunized.
Stuff like that. But and there's too many people that are too stupid to even do that. So I mean, they should be forced.
Right. Well, they should. They have to have some mandatory immunizations to protect the schools too. To protect all the children in the schools. I just do not go along with this meningitis, and then there's one for women, or for the young teenage girls, and I mean, that's stupid. That's not mandatory. Why do the doctors force you to do this? You know, because there are parents out there that are too dumb. There are parents out there that are too dumb to question it, and they just go ahead and let their kid get anything. And I still say, from a medical aspect, that a lot of your ADHD and a lot of the children's mental instabilities are coming from all these immunizations. We never had all this when you kids were growing up.
Yeah, I know.
You
even when I was a child.
Right. When you and Jason were children, you got the standard immunizations. You didn't get all the other immunizations. And if your kids were overactive in school, the teacher told the parent, and they worked with you, and they worked with the child.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nowadays, as soon as your child is overactive in school, right away they're ADHD. They want to put them on Ritalin. That's stupid.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
There's a pill for everything.
Yeah, I know, and that's stupid. That's the whole problem. Our food that we eat, if you go back, we ate better years ago.
Yeah.
That's right.
Everything affects us. I mean, everything affects the behavior in a child.
At the same time, people are living longer than ever. So how do you counterbalance that with stuff is not
because of all the chemical drugs? Is the quality of life is good. Some of the quality of life isn't. And again, I'll go back to my being a nurse. Look at the nursing homes. They're overcrowded. I mean, they don't have any problem keeping their census up. Why? Because people are living longer, but they just don't have the quality of life anymore. And again, it stems from families not taking care of families.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's right.
Hey, Mike,
I had
are you on the air here?
Shot.
Mike,
what?
Can you hear me now? Mike,
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Hey, I had the shingle shot.
Shingle shot.
Is Mike on the air right now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. All right, Mike. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to come on or not.
I've been listening.
Put you on the spot. Well, what do you think about like that California vaccination law? I mean, what do you think, in your personal opinion? I know I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I know you have a lot of health issues that you have to address. Do you think that forcing people to be being vaccinated, it would have made you healthier down the road, or would have protected you?
I don't really think so. Like Jason brought up a good point. If you're gonna fly into another country or something like that, yes, you should get vaccinated. I believe that. But I think it's up to the individual family whether they want their child vaccinated or not. The thing is, like with Melody's father, they give him a flu shot every year. And then he gets the flu. So it's like, gee, that really helps.
I get the flu.
So that's just it. And yet the doctors, when I go to the doctor because of my age, they're telling me, well, we recommend you get the flu and pneumonia shot. I say, no, thank you. Well, at your age, I said, excuse me, at my age,
want to hear something? I got them all.
Well, Mike, out the state of Wisconsin, Mike, how is it out there with the rules? And because I'm in North Carolina, and you're allowed to have a religious exemption in North Carolina about vaccinations.
I think you can have that here too. I don't really think they really are that strict on vaccinations. But you know what? They're getting that way. And, you guys were talking about, what's the difference between, like, when Betty was a child and everything else. I just believe it just goes all back to family. If you had a mother and father that cared a little bit about you and, like Betty's parents, they said no. What does no mean?
Yeah.
Means no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and there's no yes, there's no maybe, or no, I'll go buy you an ice cream, or or whatever. I mean, the kids nowadays, just like Jason says, take away the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to cure everything, but yeah, I see your point.
Well,
you have to
talking
start
about the
someplace.
vaccination, they had to take me back 15 times to get it. That's how strong I was, and I think I was about 5 years old. And
wow.
My mother's sister-in-law took me 15 times to get the vaccination, and she said if I would be good, she'd buy me an ice cream cone. I didn't. And do you know, after 15 times, I got my ice cream cone, and I got my vaccination.
You needed 15 ice cream cones. But what was that vaccination for? What was it for, that vaccination?
Well, like when you start school.
Oh, and you had to have it done.
Yeah, you had to have it done. Yep.
And what year was that?
1985.
Oh, many moons ago. Let's see. How old
was
I?
The 1940s, correct?
Wait, when did I start? No,
You were 5.
5,
when you started school, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's many years ago.
1975.
Yeah.
1975. I was grown up.
Hey, Jason, but listen, this question is for Jason, because Jason's done a lot of international travel. What about in other countries? You've been to Egypt, you've been to India, you've been to Japan, you've been to China. How do they address the vaccination issue out there?
Hell, I don't know. No, I don't know.
You would know.
No, in India, I don't think they don't do nothing over there. They don't even wipe their ass. They shit on the side of the road. They do. I was riding along the highway in a nice little Mercedes or something, and some lady lifts up her skirt on the side of the road and takes a dump right on the side of the road.
Are you
that's
serious?
Normal over there. Yeah, that's normal over there. I'm sitting at a rest stop smoking a cigarette, and a cow walks up to the window. What the hell?
Wow, that's interesting.
But that's how diseases are spread, though. I mean, it's the filth and the dirty. Yeah. It's the filth and the dirty. I mean, somebody takes a dump on the road. Don't you think that's going to spread disease? It's like you said, Jason.
India is one of the places that still has not eradicated polio.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you travel over there, come over here, and you're not vaccinated for polio, you can spread polio, right? Is that what you're saying?
I remember when I got that shot.
Yeah. I do think, though, if you do travel around to all these third world wars or whatever, these countries, you do need to have vaccinations because you are going into a country that is dirty, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, most of the time, even in the distant countries, if you go into a resort or something like that, it's segregated from the community, so you're safe. But if you go out down the streets or something like that, it's a little different.
Right. Because mean, isn't some of the diseases, weren't they brought over here from the other countries?
I wasn't around. I don't know.
I think they were.
Yeah.
I think they were.
The only thing I know is what Obama tells me.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that you have to have health insurance.
Yeah.
And pay through the nose for it, and it doesn't cover anything, so what's the point?
And he fixed racial tensions.
Yeah. He doesn't have to worry. Let's just put it this way. The people who work in Washington don't have to worry about their health insurance. It's paid for. And it's going to be paid for the rest of their life.
Automatic.
Oh,
yeah. Right.
Even when they're voted out of office, they're still taken care of.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Once you serve one term, it's it. You got it. The rest of your life.
You got it made, for the rest of your life.
That's why a lot of people choose not to run.
Common folk have to pay. We have to pay, and we still don't get good health care. All the Obamacare did, again, from nursing experience, the Medicaid, Medicare, the cuts, the people. And again, it goes back to the elderly. I feel the government needs to take care of the elderly, 100%. There should be no cuts or
what I've been trying to tell them.
That's why.
And the veterans.
Yeah, and the veterans. Definitely the veterans, for sure. All veterans should be taken care of no matter what. But that's why I sort of like Ben Carson's idea. Ben Carson's idea is each person's born with their own independent health account. And through their taxes and everything else, as they progress in life, they pay into that. Now, when you're 78, 79, 80 years old, and you've got some life-threatening disease, and you got all this money built up, it's up to you to decide whether or not to use that money. And that's your money. You can hand that down to another generation if you want. And when you're managing your own money, you'll manage it better. You won't go to just any doctor that costs $20,000 to get a hangnail removed. You'll go to the doctor. You're going to go to the doctor that's going to do it for $2,000, and you're going to have your extra money left over. You manage your own health care that way.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. I mean, it's just a shame. Yeah. It's a shame. I mean, it really is a shame because I feel bad for a lot of my clientele are Medicaid people, and the cuts have been unbelievable. And I'm saying, now wait a minute. A person that has a ventilator and a trach, they've got to have this stuff. Why is the government saying now all of a sudden because of Obamacare and the cuts they can't get it?
Well, that's
the code days.
Yeah, that's a loophole. But Joey, you never understood that about healthcare before because you're one of these Rand Paul guys, Close the borders, seal the borders down, nail your freaking doors shut, blah, 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 blah. But that don't work, okay? That's not what the United States was based on.
On what? What do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean by
Sealing
Rand
off
Paul?
the borders, not allowing immigration. Let's legalize marijuana. Let's make this big world one big freaking rainbow. That's not how it works. I mean, it's
I don't think
involved.
Well, no, I think that Ron Paul and the Rand Pauls would use common sense when they propose legislation. Ron Paul was in Congress for 30 years. Obviously, he had common sense. I mean, somebody doesn't stay 30 years as a
because you're in Congress don't mean you have common sense. Look at these people up there. The last person to run for president, I think that was the most qualified during the last election, was probably, and you guys are going to hate me for this, was probably Newt Gingrich. He, under Reagan and everything else, he worked under Clinton, he worked under Reagan, and he knew how to balance a budget. He knew numbers. When he came up with an argument, he didn't just say, it's that way because that's the way I want it. No, he gave you facts, he gave you numbers, he had it all broke down, ready to go in his brain. These other people that ran for, look at Romney. I mean, Jesus Christ, that dude shouldn't run for he shouldn't run an ant farm, let alone the country. No wonder why he didn't win the damn presidency.
Well, well, what about Ron Paul only wanted to enforce the Constitution, and that's the problem. The Constitution is null and void today.
But that depends on how you interpret the Constitution and everything else. There's so many different ways. It's like the Bible. You can interpret it so many different ways. It's like the gays. They'll take one verse out of the Bible and see, God was all for gays. No, he wasn't. Read the whole damn book, And
right. You don't just take a portion of it. Again, I mean, if people would incorporate the Bible into everything and not just take one little section at a time out of there and use it to their benefit, that's not what the Bible was written for. Just like the Constitution.
No.
You don't take one little thing and just say.
You have to rightly divide the Bible and apply it. And the Bible says what it means and means what it says. And the Bible is not up for private interpretation. You can't privately interpretate the Bible and apply it to say, hey, that's the way it's supposed to be. It says what it means, and that's it. It means what it says. You just can't interpret it in a private way. I mean, that's what a lot of people come into. They think their doctrinal perspective is the right way to believe, and really, it's not. You have to just read. What do you do when you read a book? You don't start in the middle, right? You start in the beginning.
Right.
You read it from the beginning to the end.
Getting to the
end. A lot
end.
of these preachers don't.
No.
Like you said,
no,
they take
that
a
was
verse
the
from the middle
problem.
and they say, yeah.
That's the problem with religion today, too. I mean, there's just so much out there. And personally, if you believe in God, you read your Bible and you try to live the best you can. And, you try to live the way you think God would want you to live, because when it comes down to it, right before you die, you get to make the choice anyways.
Well, you don't have to be a Bible-thumping, church-going person to be a good person.
No, you don't. You don't. I don't believe that.
Yeah, but being a good person isn't going to get you to heaven, Jason. Being a good person is not going to get you to heaven.
And that last
you have to do your butt. Yeah, you have to believe in the Bible. You have to take,
No, you have to believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Right, right. But I mean, that's his book.
On that last show that we were calling in on, and I know he's your friend and everything, but you couldn't get a word in. You couldn't get a word in edgewise. And
I know.
And when you started discussing something, he came in and started quoting something out of the Bible for 30 freaking minutes. I drank 6 beers and passed out. Okay. I'm not doing that no more. Right? That's just ridiculous.
And that's one of the reasons, Jason. Hey, Jason, that's one of the reasons why we kind of separated on the show part. And Mike out in Wisconsin, didn't you tell me the same thing, Mike? What was your opinion on that when I was on there as a guest, Mike? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, what was Mike? You gave a very honest opinion about things. What was your opinion about that?
It was like insomnia. I mean, it is like Brother John. Hey, Brother John, what's your opinion? John's sleeping, and Jason's passed out, and the only ones that are awake are me and Betty and Debbie.
Hey, Mike, I want to tell you real quick since I got you on the phone. I'm headed down to Orlando.
Yeah, I know you're going down to see my dad.
Well, I'm going down there to work for a couple days, but I'm in Orlando, so I figured I'd swing an hour out of the way and go spend the day with him.
He's looking forward to it.
Good. Okay, great. Last time I brought the whole family down there, but this time the funds ain't there, so I'm just going to drive down by myself.
But anyway, Mike, back to what you were saying about when we had the outsiders in here in the show. What was your opinion about that with Peter? Like you said, you liked it when I was on there, and I brought up interesting topics, but they would never answer the question. That's what you said, correct?
Right. Yep. I think Peter is a really nice person. I think he's trying to do something good for society and everything else. It's just that, just like I said before, and what Jason just said, he gets on. He knows it so deep and so well that, you know what, I get lost.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's too deep. It's too deep. A good movie to watch is God Is Not Dead.
I prefer
it's
that
a very
one with,
good movie.
What's that gray hair?
Heaven is for real?
Guy? No, the gray hair comedian guy, not Dan Aykroyd. He gets up there, a leap of faith. There you go. That shows how it's really done. A leap of faith, yeah.
Yeah, right. No, but seriously, the movie God Is Not Dead, it puts it in terms that we can understand things.
Well, tell me something, Mike. Like, for instance, like your father in Florida there, Joe in Florida. What, like, for instance, when you were growing up, how was it? I mean, I'm not trying to bring up any bad things, but he had a role of discipline towards you where he really, actually, I know you may criticize Mike, the things he may have done toward you. I can't get in. I wasn't there. But he did. He took things in a different perspective than the way things are taught today. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. I mean, with him, he told you not to do something, and then if you kept doing it, then he says he unbuckles his belt, and then if you keep going, if he takes that belt off, guess what?
You got it. I remember that.
Yeah. And you know what?
Not like today.
There's no belt. There's no belt nowadays.
No.
Is there?
No, it's abuse. It's abuse.
It's time
That's
out.
what they're saying.
What?
Yeah, time out does nothing.
I'm counting to 3.
Yeah. I'm going to count to 3, and you better bring my car back home.
Anyway, I always told Melody.
Time out is worthless.
I always told Melody that I don't know how my kid would call Child Protection Services with 5 broken fingers.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Smartphone. That damn cell phone they got, they'll do it.
Smartphone, yeah.
All you have to do is he can go speaker and do it.
You're right before I get hit by the car.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are we the only ones that are on?
No, you've got. Let's see. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll be honest with you. You got about tonight, because it tells me how many callers you got. It's not. A lot of people have not called like they promised they would, and we know who they are. And I'll call them out tomorrow. The liars who are very, very dishonest. But and then there was a couple other people that I asked to call in, and they didn't either, because people are just so darn busy. And you know what it is? It's not that people are busy. What it is people are distracted. Because you have time to do what you're supposed to do. Don't give me that nonsense. What it is you're distracted. You're distracted by the TV, like Jason said, the cell phone, the internet, my concert in Greensboro.
I got to update my Facebook.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me push this to Instagram. Hold on. I got to push this to Instagram. Hold on.
Yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But anyway, no.
Yeah.
But to answer Betty's question, no, you got about. Well, it's been varying between 15 to 10 callers online, and then in my chat room it's about 8. So we're not the only ones on. It's just that other people are and I've actually sent them messages and asked them if they want to participate, and they said no, they just want to listen. So that's good. I mean, if we can help other people out.
They just want to listen. They're probably saying, I have a better time listening.
Bunch of whack jobs.
It's entertainment.
Well, you know what? We're offering knowledge, because you got to remember, this show will be archived. It's just like Jason said a couple months ago when we were on. You know how many hits that show has had? About 10,000 people have listened to that show.
Right.
So you're pretty
right.
Yeah. 10,000 hits.
Yeah.
Hits.
Because afterwards I went on the computer and I actually could listen to the whole thing all over again.
That's right. It's you see what I'm saying? It's archived. And around the world, it's had 10,000 hits. So that's pretty darn good when you think about it. That's darn good. Well, we'll probably have a couple thousand hits on this, within a couple weeks. But if a couple thousand people logged in tonight, my computer would crash.
Well, Joey,
I can't take the bandwidth.
The best way to get it shouldn't be on your computer. It should be broadcast, multicasted from your computer to Blogspot, and they handle it. Well, then it has nothing to do with how many computers, how many connections your computer can hold.
But Jason, but the program they set me up with, I only have so much bandwidth. Otherwise, I have to pay money for it. Oh,
why don't you come up with your own Microsoft or Linux-based media server and do it yourself, and just broadcast.
I don't know about things like that. You do.
Yeah, Jason's the brains in that.
That's right.
Where's the rewind button at? I'll delete that last comment. But if you seriously want to get people in the show, you got to talk about hot topics like homophobia.
Well, this is my first, Jason, like I said in the intro, this is my first show. I mean, as an individual. I had Peter before and Nathan, and like Mike said, they wouldn't let me say anything. Once I got in there, they would just keep cutting me off. But people wanted to hear me.
That's why
I think Peter's show is solely based on religion and the Bible.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You could talk about the way you squashed an ant today or something, and he'd come up and say, well, in such and such verse 3, chapter 4, and
in Romans number 5.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, he's very Bible. I mean, he definitely has a good knowledge of the Bible.
But you remember when the call? But listen. But remember when that other caller called in from Georgia, the stranger that called in. Kathy,
that lady.
She said she agreed with you, Jason, and she agreed with me. He's too cut and dry and too plain. Nobody wants to hear that nowadays. We live in the year 2015. These old 1930s preaching styles, nobody wants to hear it anymore. No. We want to talk about the things that are happening to us today. What can you do to help me tomorrow?
Well, I keep getting mixed up between claustrophobia and homophobia. Which one was about being in a closet again?
Oh, yeah.
I keep getting mixed up between claustrophobia and homophobia. Which one was about being in the closet? That
individual there, we actually lost contact with her. She was like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and like you said,
she just wanted to hear her voice.
Yeah. But she wanted somebody to help her, and we're not here to help.
She wanted free. She wanted a handout.
Well, that's right, and that's what the world is about today, Jason, isn't it? Everybody wants something for free. Nobody wants to get up and work for it.
I got my Obama phone. Yeah, everyone's seen that one.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway,
I mean, look, Mike and Melody work very hard. They farm. Do you still farm, Michael?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so that's hard work. It's back-breaking work. So you appreciate everything more.
Out in the state of Wisconsin, Michael, how is the atmosphere out there from when I was out there 30 years ago? Can you believe it's been 30 years since I've been out there?
I know. Gee, you're getting so old.
I mean,
I think I have a picture. I have a picture of you on the tractor.
Yeah, but listen, how has it changed since then compared to, like, for instance, you remember we had, our great-grandmother's still alive. Obviously, they're gone. Nana's gone. Your father's getting older now. He's not the same as he was 20 years ago. He's
Barbara's
divorced
gone.
from his wife. Yeah. So everyone's gone. We had everybody back then, but even back then we were really not really communicating with each other. I mean, were we?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You came out and stayed with me for the summer, and people might have thought I was the biggest ogre in the world, but I really didn't. I really didn't treat you bad. You know that work had to be done, and Darren can throw himself in the dirt, and Joey got on the tractor. So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I have a picture of Joey on the tractor.
But listen though. But the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is that back then, Michael, you had a different type of work ethic. If you brought that work ethic, not towards me, but anyone else today, you'd probably be arrested. You'd be stoned, or you'd be, they would take your kid away from you for child abuse. And that's the problem.
You're probably right, Joe. I mean, but then again, farming is hard. There is no timeout card. The cows need to be milked. You can't say I'll do it tomorrow.
You get your time out at 9 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning. But
that's right.
Normally that's spent sleeping.
Mike, Mike, you just brought up a very important work. Mike, you brought up a very important work ethic, and now, like you just said, there is no time out. You have to get up tomorrow morning at 5, 6, 7, whatever time your scheduled milking was, and you had to do it. You had to, or those cows would suffer. You were responsible for 50 animals in that barn and a whole coop of chickens and pigs or whatever you had on the farm at that time, and you had to do it. There was, I'll do it tomorrow, like you said. You couldn't do that. You couldn't.
Don't tell the PETA people that.
Yeah.
And you could only leave the farm as long as it would take you to get back. If you were going somewhere for 4 hours and you had to be back by 4 to milk, you couldn't. What I'm trying to say is I couldn't say, well, now let's take the day and go down to Great America down in Chicago and everything. You couldn't do that because
it's true. You're right. The thing of it is, though, but how do the farms survive today out there? Because are there still good people out there that are getting up every day?
Yeah. We got someone trying to call in.
What's that, Jason?
We got someone trying to call in, I think, in the chat room.
How do you know?
The chat. Because I'm watching the damn chat room like an administrator is supposed to be doing.
Hey, I'm new to this now. I said that in the beginning. Hang on, I'm going to connect him because I know who it is. Here he is. All right, you're on. Go ahead.
Jason's doing his job.
That's right.
I hear you.
All right. We know who this is, Meriden, Connecticut.
I didn't say that. You did.
Hey,
Joe. But I know where you're calling from.
We know.
Go ahead, talk.
Hi, Joe.
I don't need to talk. Hi, Mike.
Good
Hi,
night,
Debbie.
John,
Hi,
boys.
Betty. Hey, Joe. Hi, Jason.
Hey.
Hello.
Okay, what do you have to say?
I don't have
we got
to
about
say too
8.
much.
Listen, we got 8 other people listening.
Listen,
Super
she asked me what I had to say, not you.
I understand, but I'm the host. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm the guest.
Hey,
I don't have much. I don't have much to say.
Ahead.
I just thought I'd call in rather than sit here and just listen.
Well, what's your opinion though? You grew up in the 1960s. What's your opinion about the topic we talked? It's a pretty good topic. It has to deal with family and family values.
Well, I had a good life. I had a good life as a young child. I have a hard time remembering all those things, but I had a good time.
That's
but
right.
If you didn't
we had
listen
some
to your
good
father,
time. Hey, remember when we bought the first swimming pool?
Yeah, remember, Michael, when you were in the water out?
Hey, Mike, do you remember that swimming pool, Mike?
And Mike and Melody loved it.
See, we had good family time.
She had a big pool.
Betty and Hector were prominent in my childhood for most of it, and they did more for me than my own family basically did.
Yeah, we had some good times, yep.
I remember Mike in the swimming pool, and I wasn't but what? I was -5 years old, I think, and I remember when he leaned in the swimming pool and the side fell down.
He emptied it real quick.
Yeah.
But see, Melody and Michael, we did have good family times together.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, Mike, you said you had to worry about the animals. You have to make sure they're taken care of. Even when you came up on your vacation, you brought your cows or chickens.
I'll tell you,
I had to pay extra for them to get on the first class.
Oh heck! Nowadays,
you guys were talking about vaccines before.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get into that more because that's
I like to say something a little bit about vaccines. Not that I don't believe in vaccines, but nowadays most vaccines are coming from China, and in China they don't care about their own life. Do you really think they're going to care about our life? They put ethanol in toothpaste, they put melamine in this, they put lead in children's lunchboxes. So vaccines, I think, may be a good idea.
There's metal in them.
Vaccines may be a good idea, but not when they're made in China, because you have no idea what you're getting. And as far as vaccines go, bacteria can mutate at any given moment. So to get a strain of a vaccine that's going to be effective is like shooting in the dark.
Yeah, well, I mean, the polio vaccine worked, and certain measles and stuff like that. But I mean, I've been to China, and them are some of the hardest working people you've ever seen. They'll make America look like freaking toddlers. They get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, they go to work, and they work till 9 o'clock at night. They eat, and they go home and do it again.
And the employer gives them $1.50, and they go home.
Exactly.
And they live 10,000 people to a unit.
And do you know how much the average wedding costs over there? And they all get married. Almost $200,000. They spend their whole life saving up for this crap, and they do it. It's ridiculous.
And then they go home there and pay for a house.
I was in China today. Go ahead, Jason. I was in China a couple years ago.
Everyone's chemically dependent. That's the problem. So how do we get off
of that? That is the problem.
Yeah, but I had all the childhood diseases. I didn't get the vaccines. I had the diseases. So I built up my own immunity.
That's why I got the shingles, because I had the chicken pox.
I don't believe in the shingle shot.
You don't believe in what?
Getting the shingles
when Betty started to molt.
What did Maryland, Connecticut say about how do we get off being chemically dependent, eating the foods that are served in grocery stores today? They're all filled with. I mean, what are you going to do? Spend your whole life digging up weeds in your backyard all day? I mean, you can't. People got to go to work. I mean, what are you going to do?
Joe,
you know, I mean,
that's about what we ate when you were out here.
Yeah.
Melody's garden.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
But we were on a farm, Michael.
Yeah, I know. But then again, you know what? It's even with the gardening nowadays, with all the chemicals that come through the rain and everything from the atmosphere, because we're so pollutant.
Yep, that's right.
Is it really good?
Well, I'll tell you something. That my father told me.
You got to let Meriden talk. You got to let Meriden talk because he's trying to give advice here.
Oh, Meriden's at the edge of the earth. You can't quite see it, but it's close. But
go ahead.
Speaking of the edge of the earth, you know, look at Antarctica. Nobody owns that. What's going on down there? But speaking of chemicals, you know, look at that lead in gasoline. That's still coming down from the atmosphere now. And so you're right. You're right. There's more pollutants and chemicals out there. And my organic garden, it does produce good quality, fruits and vegetables and things like that. But you know, it doesn't produce the amount that it should.
Right.
Well, didn't you once tell me it's not so much the bad food you eat, it's good food that you don't eat?
Well, it is. It's the good food you don't eat because your body has natural defenses and everything to ward off bad things. Your digestive system is like the hole in a donut. It's part of the donut, but it has nothing to do with the donut. And people say, you know, you are what you eat, and that's not true. You are what you digest. And so, therefore, if you eat good food, then you'll probably be healthier. And if you eat bad food, your body has a way of getting rid of most of it. But when you get to that chemical burden state where your body just can't get rid of it anymore, now you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah,
now,
it's okay
Michael,
to eat bad food, but you got to eat good food too.
Right, Michael. The air quality in Wisconsin, do you think it's better? Because you have more country? Yes.
Yeah, I would say comparing it to Meriden, Connecticut, or Wallingford, Connecticut, I would say it's 1,000% better.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Out here, you know, people don't have all pimples on their face, and the air. Our air is coming down across Minnesota, northern Wisconsin. You know, so it's really, and plus we have cold fronts that come through here. You know, like every 2 days. So the weather is constantly being pushed. We don't have any major cities like, Chicago's south of us, but Milwaukee used to be a big city, you know, for machines and, you know, machinery and stuff like that. Well, Milwaukee really isn't like that anymore. It's all suits and ties and, you know,
Right. But you don't have as much congestion in traffic either.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you.
Not that bad. Well,
I got
only
a question
because
for you.
we only have congestion is like when they start ripping these freeways apart and then decide they don't know how to put it back together again.
Right.
Mike, I have a question for you. I was out there back 1986, 87, 1988, and now here it is 2015, and I know what Debbie's asking about. How is it? I mean, back then it was different. How has it changed since then? Is it worse? Or I mean, it's still good out there, but how has it changed since when I was out there 30 years ago? Because you've been out there all this time.
I would say out where we live in the country, it probably hasn't changed much at all. I mean, we still don't lock our doors. You know, when we go into the city, we lock our doors in the car and stuff, but not when we're on the farm. You know, if I went out here on the road and got a flat tire, I bet you the second car that went by me would stop and help me. And
wouldn't get that married.
You know, that's
here they run you over.
Here they out in Connecticut they push to the side of the road and steal your car.
Right.
Well, down here in North Carolina,
they jump in and push you out the other door.
Well, down here in North Carolina, it's not that bad yet.
Yeah, but it's changed a lot, Joe, from the time when we first moved here 28 years ago.
Oh, no, I know. It's terrible. But the thing of it is, though, is everything is still very far away. That has not changed at all.
No, that hasn't changed. We still travel to the grocery stores and everything. But look at all the people living up here. Look at when you first moved here, what it was like. There was nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, now look.
Yeah, when my brother Joey came out for a visit, we had to go to the store once. He thought we were traveling the whole state.
Much.
But that's country life.
Country life's going to change because everything has to be equal in America. Yeah. And the way Obama's doing things is the wrong way. And one day things will change back because things cannot be equal. You know, you grow up, you get an apartment, you work a job, you have a little family, you move into a better apartment, you save some money, you buy a house, you save more money for years, you buy another house and move to a better neighborhood. Then now you get Section 8 next to you, and you move right back to square one.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been saying Obama's going to change his name back to Perry Sorrento so he can run for a third term.
Yeah, right.
Well, hey, listen, I made a statement to somebody today. Yeah, you know who you are. Today about that. I was looking at all the big houses up there in the middle of Greensboro on Holden Road, all those $500,000 houses at 9 o'clock at night, and guess what? They're all sitting in the dark. They're all sitting there. Everything's dark.
They can't afford the electric.
Yeah, exactly. But then I drive by Martin Luther King Drive or High Point Road. All the lights are on. Everybody's jumping around partying. So what's the problem here? What's going on?
All those big houses that people have, they can't afford them.
Yeah.
They have to live like that, and that's a shame. You're not living in your house.
They're
not living a life.
To the hilt. They're mortgaged to the hilt. They got to make that car payment. They have got to get up and go to work tomorrow morning, otherwise they'll lose everything.
That's right.
But there's one thing, though. There's one point,
but that's the American way, Joe. That's the American way.
But there's one point, though. But there's one point I'd like to make. Well, we got so many family members on the line, and we only got 5 others on the other line now, so I lost a couple. But family sticks together, and the Asian culture, the Indian culture. You ever see those Indians? How the gas station? Who do they got working for them? Their sister, their daughter, their brother. You know, and the Asians. They all live in one house, or they got houses together. And how do we do it as Americans? My uncle moves out to California. My mother will move to North Carolina. My father lives in Connecticut, and my sister lives in Florida. And we're all trying to steal each other's money. That's what our family's about. That's the American way, right?
Right. That's what they say. That's the American way. Is that really right?
You don't have to steal it. Just ask. You can have it all.
You know, but that's the thing. But that's the thing, though, is why is that happening? All the white, I'm not trying to segregate everybody, but the whites and blacks act like that. But the Asians and the Indians who come over to this country, even the Italians are starting to act like the Americans now. But when they first came over, they didn't act like that. Families stuck together. They worked hard.
Well, you
like
want to know what
Jason
family
said.
sticks together? Mexicans stick together. Believe it or not.
Yeah,
they do.
They do.
You're right.
They all bundle 27 of them up into a 10-by-10 room, and they live there, and they leave every morning and go to work, and they take their money they made and they send it back home to Mexico to help their family down there.
I'm voting for Trump.
When Betty's mother and father came over here, and they immigrated from another country, and the Italians came over here, they're the ones that built America originally.
Yeah.
Right.
And they had to go. They're his family.
The difference is they came over for a better life. The ones that are running over the border now.
Hang on,
my mother my mother didn't come over from the other side. She was born in Cleveland.
Well, you know.
But my father was born in Budapest.
Yeah, but you know what? It's the old country. It's the old standard.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody family was important. You worked and you lived off the land. I mean, God, and look at Granny making you dresses out of burlap bags.
Even growing up though on Church Street, you know, if you rode your
How
bike
about
around
cases, dish towels?
If you rode your bike around a neighborhood, you know,
Yeah.
if you rode 10 feet, you had the Italians. You rode another section, you had the Portuguese people. You had, you rode another section, you had the Puerto Rican. Well, that was the projects. But you keep on riding, and you keep on riding, and you keep running the different classes of people. And that's the way it was. And now they're all
But everybody
integrated.
looked out for everybody too, because when you kids didn't, I knew when you didn't do something right because one of the neighbors would tell me.
And
they
now
all looked out for everybody.
That's the problem. They're all integrated now. They're all integrated now, and now you can't go out in your own backyard without getting shot.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, on Church Street, like you said, Jason, our parents were at work all day long. We were riding our bikes around the block.
Yeah, no, you was trying to ride us up to Roy Rogers to get a burger and got us all grounded for a month. We still got into trouble, but we were not like the kids of today getting into trouble. We weren't killing people. We were not killing our next door neighbors.
You weren't stealing.
We broke a window. We acted silly like kids. But
lit a few
we're not like the kids
of
today.
But you kids had to pay for that broken window too.
And he took
you kids had to pay for it.
We did.
Alice.
Yep. You had to pay for it.
I think we
scrounged
up
$2 bank over to pay Alice for the window.
I think we scrounged up $2.50 and Pop put the rest of the bill. Okay.
You still had to learn that you had what you. Yeah, but the thing of it is, Jason, you had to learn. You did it. You got it. You're responsible for it.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of who helped. You were still responsible. You did something wrong. You still had to, suffer the consequences. You had to pay for it.
I don't know if someone else is trying to get in or not right now, but because I don't know what's going on. But we don't have that much time left. So, but anyway, listen. I got 3 slots that I can take. So if everyone wants to come back, and I'll try to get a couple others on here, what do you want to do? Because we got the good panel right now. So what do you want to do? Tell me.
It just depends on my work night. Yeah, I'll come back, but it just depends on the work night,
Next Sunday.
On a Monday night, I do 16 hours. Sunday night is fine, but a Monday night, I do 16 hours.
That's what my father said the same thing. He said Sunday nights are a good night because you want to know why? Everybody has to get ready for the week. So Sunday night is a very good night, I think, for everyone, and I can get a few other people on. And Mike, I want to send you a text message because that's something I want to tell you that I saw tonight on the box. So I'm going to send you a text message.
11 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I know, but still, I have to. Yeah.
Joe, happy birthday.
Who's happy birthday?
Isn't it little Joey's birthday?
Next
my birthday.
No, not until August 17th.
I thought it was July 17th. Sorry.
No, August 17th. Jason's July 30th.
We forget about somebody very important. It's Melody's birthday on July 11th.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Melody.
July 11th?
July 11th is Melody's birthday.
Yeah, tell Melody I said happy birthday. Yeah, tell Melody I said happy birthday. Yeah.
Melody, one of the memories I have of being a kid when they used to always come down for Christmas was that pick a song. Every time I hear it on the radio now, I think about it, is from Christopher Cross. Think of Laura.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that came out on the radio, and they were singing it and playing it over and over and over one Christmas. So
yeah, we still watch
and all
it.
our cookies we baked.
I know, and the pies and everything. Usually around Halloween, we used to make apple pies.
Yes,
Yes, Melody talking?
That's Melody.
Yes, it is.
Melody. You got about 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes,
Melody.
so you better hurry up.
Okay, well, I'm done, but thank you very much, everybody, and I hope to hear you again.
Yes, it's good to hear you, Melanie.
Hi, Melody.
Before you go,
go ahead.
You still look exactly the same, and you still sound exactly the same as you did 30 years ago.
I know. Oh, my God. Well, that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, and listen, I seen her a couple of years ago, and she still looks as young as she did too.
Yeah, I know.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
Pictures, yeah.
That's that good hard work she does.
You know what I want to know? I want to know if she can still make an apple pie.
Yeah. Delicious apple pies.
Right.
Well, that's good that we got everybody on tonight. Like I said, I got a couple other people I can get on next Sunday, so we're going to be in agreement on that next Sunday.
And what time will it be? It's 8:30?
8:30.
Sounds good.
I'll schedule it, and I'll get a couple others on. And Mike, I'm going to send you a text message or something I want to tell you. I got it because I have to play the intro after. That's what the ending song at the end. Well, that's the same intro, but I'm going to try to get another intro because I didn't care for that one too much. But anyway, yeah, so thanks for coming on.
Okay, Joe, you asked me.
I feel like this all the time, trying to politically awaken people that they're being lied to, that there's an agenda. It's not left or right. It's, hey, there's mind control going on. The signal's broadcast 24 hours a day through all this media. Just become aware of it, and they'll say there's nothing going on. And I want to say, put on these glasses or start chewing concrete.
Chew concrete.
They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth.
The question is, do we all work for central bankers? That's what I want to address to our guest tonight.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
An estimated 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder or sleep deprivation.
Outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners.
Latest census numbers prove the United States has the biggest gap between rich and poor compared to all westernized countries today.
Our projections show that by the year 2025, not only America, but the entire planet will be under the protection and the dominion of this power alliance. The gains have been substantial, both for ourselves and for you, the human power elite.
And for the